In One Piece, episode 1180, Im's overwhelming power is finally revealed. In this episode, Im activates a new power called Omen. This power far exceeds imagination, effortlessly defeating Zoro and Sanji with a single, simple attack. At the beginning of the story, Im is depicted spreading her black wings wide and diving toward the ground at an unbelievable speed. In that moment, the entire elbaf seems to be enveloped as if crushed by an invisible pressure. A tremendous burst of Conqueror's haki explodes. The wave of energy spreads rapidly in the direction Im moves. The ground shakes violently, and the giant warriors kneel one after another, some collapsing entirely. What is this power? I can't stand. Even Dory and Brogy could only grit their teeth and endure. Eventually, Im descends to the spot where Zoro and Gels are. At that moment, Gels is holding Somars' split body in her hands. Im slowly turns her gaze and coldly states, "Let her go." However, Gels immediately shakes her head. "No, I won't hand her over." She clings tightly to Somars, refusing to budge and desperately maintaining her distance. Zoro stands before her, quietly readying his sword. "If you come, come. I won't let this go easily." His eyes are sharp, focused on not missing even the slightest movement from Im, but in the next moment, Im's figure disappears. Vanished. No one could catch her movement. Im, moving at a speed that even the dead cannot achieve, appears right next to Gels in an instant. By the time Gels notices, it is already too late. Im silently raises the black spear in her hand, and in the next moment, everything is over. A perfectly executed strike without any waste. Gels' 5 fingers are completely severed before she even realizes it. Blood bursts forth a moment later. Gels collapses on the spot, not understanding what just happened. Then, as the intense pain hits her, she screams while clutching her arm. "Ah!" That scream echoed heavily and deeply across the silent battlefield. In the meantime, Somar's body slips from Gels' arms and falls to the ground. Somars, struggling to breathe, desperately tries to move. Stanson stands in front of Halden. "Halden, wait! The opponent is too dangerous. If you go like this, you'll lose your life." Halden grits his teeth and shouts, "But I'm going. I can't just stand by while my comrades are hurt." At that moment, Im's gaze turns toward the two. In the next moment, Im's figure rapidly approaches. "It's coming!" Stanson shouts, reflexively shoving Halden hard. It was so fast that I couldn't understand what happened. At that moment, Zoro charges at Im. "Don't underestimate me! Don't think this is where it ends!" He growls lowly, pouring all his strength into his body. The Conqueror's haki bursts forth violently, intertwining black and red lightning around his 3 swords. The air trembles, and even the ground around them begins to creak. The Demon Slash 3 strikes overlap into one, slicing through the air at an incredible speed towards Im. That blow contained all the anger and intent to kill. However, in the next moment, Im's figure disappears. Zoro's slash ends up cutting through empty space. Where is he? Before Zoro could sense anything, Im was already behind him. A black flame ignites in the palm of Im's raised hand. It was a sinister and ominous flame called Omen. "It's over." Im murmurs in an emotionless voice and throws the flame at Zoro's face from close range. At such a close distance, evasion is impossible. Zoro can't even pull back his sword yet. In the next moment, the black flame retracts right in front of him. Boom! A small explosion. But all the power was concentrated at that one point. Zoro's face is slashed, and blood splatters violently. His body is blown away and slammed into the ground. Thud. The impact gouges the ground deeply, sending dirt and stones flying. After a while, the smoke slowly clears. In the midst of it, Zoro's figure appears. His whole body is stained with blood, breathing heavily and unevenly. Zoro's body collapses onto the ground. The sword he was holding drops weakly, making a dry sound. Eventually, Zoro becomes completely motionless. He lay there, unconscious. After that, Im slowly turns his gaze towards Somers. Somers' body is cut in half. only able to crawl on the ground. He breathes painfully, dragging blood. Seeing that, Im silently raises one hand. A small flame quietly ignites in his palm. However, it was not the black flame from before. It was a pale, eerie white flame that flickered Omen. As he murmurs it softly, Im throws the white flame at Somers. The flame envelops Somers' body, spreading as if to burn him to ashes. But in the next moment, something strange happens. Within the blazing flames, the two severed bodies are slowly drawn together. Flesh connects, bones intertwine, and the torn wounds begin to heal rapidly. Eventually, when the flames subside, there stands Somers, completely restored. Then he immediately kneels before him and bows deeply. "Your orders, Im Sama." Im, still with a cold gaze, speaks briefly. "Continue the mission." "Yes." Somers replies immediately and follows the command. In the next moment, Im spreads his massive black wings again. The air trembles, and in an instant, he soars into the sky. He flies straight towards the direction of Kirangam. Meanwhile, Kirangam is captured by Sanji. Kirangam's body is forcibly lifted, suspended in the air like an object. Let go. But Sanji only looks down coldly. At that moment, the air changes. Im quietly appears and lands in front of Sanji. The moment Sanji sees that figure, his eyes sharpen. Here comes another troublesome one. In the next moment, Sanji kicks the ground without hesitation. Flames erupt from his feet. Ifrit jump. The blazing kick strikes directly at Im. However, Im does not move an inch, simply raising his foot to absorb the attack. Boom! A loud clash. The two forces collide, shaking the air violently. Immediately after, black flames gather in Im's other foot. It was the eerie, flickering flame of Omen. Im twists his body and delivers a powerful kick to Sanji. The strike enveloped in black flames creates an explosive shockwave. Ugh. Sanji's body is blown away. He crashes against the rock wall, raising a cloud of dust around him. Gah! Sanji grits his teeth and tries to stand up somehow. But the damage is too great. His body doesn't move well, and he collapses from his knees. Damn, this is bad. Im, glancing at him, silently points towards Kirangam. Once again, he raises his hand, and a small black flame, Omen, appears. He releases it towards Kirangam. The flames envelop Kirangam's body, burning fiercely. However, that flame is not for destruction, but for regeneration. The torn body slowly returns to its original state, and the wounds disappear. Eventually, when the flames extinguish, Kirangam is completely restored. He immediately kneels on the ground and bows his head. Im Sama. Im speaks. Eliminate Yalu. A short command, Kirangam nods vigorously. Yes, right after that, Im spreads his black wings again. He soars into the sky, stirring the wind. His destination is where the military storehouse is located. Meanwhile, in the village of Elbaf, Loki and Luffy are recovering their strength by eating meat. Sitting behind a ruined building, Luffy is mindlessly devouring meat. Delicious. Not enough yet. Give me more. Stuffing his mouth full of meat, he continues to eat. He was that exhausted. On the other hand, Loki, still holding meat, suddenly stops moving. As if noticing something, he slowly raises his face. What is this presence? From deep within the air, a heavy, strange aura is transmitted. It's not just strong. There's an eerie, unfathomable pressure. Loki furrows his brow and no doubt about it, an incredible guy is coming. Noticing this, Luffy calls out while eating meat. Huh? What's wrong, Loki? Loki speaks briefly. Luffy, let's go. To the source of that aura. However, Luffy shakes his head while still holding the meat. No way. I am still hungry. He bites into the meat again. If we go now, I won't have any strength. I'm still not ready. Normally, Luffy would move immediately, but he was clearly close to his limit now. Loki falls silent for a moment, looking down at Luffy. I can't help it. He turns his gaze back to the distance. That presence, if left alone, will be dangerous. Loki stands up from where he is. and starts walking slowly. You stay here and recover. Luffy, with his mouth full of meat, waves his hand lightly. Okay, I'm counting on you. Loki says nothing more and leaves the village. Eventually, Loki's figure fades away, heading towards the battlefield. Im has already arrived at the military storehouse. There is a large block of ice, and inside it, the military storehouse is trapped. His body is completely frozen, unable to move at all. Im stands before it, staring at the ice for a while. Then, quietly raising his hand, he releases black flames. Omen. He directs the flames towards the ice, which slowly begins to melt. Silently, it crumbles away, little by little, as if disappearing. Eventually, all the ice disappears, and the military storehouse collapses to the ground. After a while, he regains the ability to move and slowly raises his face. Seeing Im in front of him, he speaks as if slightly relieved. Im-sama, at that moment,